So basically what I'm doing is I am found the trees that I want to work with, and I'm going to swap over lenses. The longer the focal length, the better effect you'll get. And the reason for that is I'm going to swap to the 85mm here. The reason for that is it accentuates the movement more. Basically there's a line of trees here that I want to shoot. And I'm going to see is I'm going to stop that down to about there, quarter of a second still. I'm getting the effect of the trees. I'm possibly a bit too far away from them, but I'm getting the effect of them. See, there's a lovely gnarly tree here, but whether that acts as a subject matter, and the reason I'm going to actually drag down the way this time, so I'm going to do that, and I get the drag down. For me, still too far away. Now I'm metering this and then just disregarding what the meter says and looking for what I want to see from the image. So right now, that is way too much. And let's see there. So right now I'm underexposed to quite a bit. And you could hear the length of that time there. So I'll put that one on screen and you'll see what I mean just with the shutter. Or the shutter drag with the long exposure. Let's go for that one again. So I'm at 2.5 seconds with this. I'm going to take it down to a second. And again, I'm still well underexposed. What's happened there is what usually happens as well. Because you're arcing, you'll get the arc with the lens, especially if you use a really wide lens. What you're trying to do is you can even do this, right, and you get a straight shot. So I'm looking to move that up straight, and as at that I'm dragging that back, but it's giving me a straighter line. I can crop these from 3x2 to 8x10. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go up there and shoot back down the way. I can quite comfortably say this is in no way at all an instructional video. It's just something that I enjoy doing, and actually I've enjoyed ICM for years. Big fan of Turner, J.W. Turner, so I'm a big fan of him, and I'm watching the light coming in behind at the moment just to see if I might change from ICM to get another shot. Big fan of him. So these images to me are kind of relatable, not comparable, but relatable to that, and because I enjoy that type of imagery, you need the contrast, whether that be colour or light, you need that. And for me, I need some type of form in it so that I can see that there's perhaps something there, and that's what intrigues me with the images. That's why I like ICM as much. On the other hand, I do like the ones that you can't make anything out. It just seems like an abstract imagery. Whether you consider this your thing or not, it's entirely up to you. But I enjoy it, and if I'm ever in a creative rut and I'm out shooting and I can't find a composition or there's no light or something's going on, I will try a couple. Where mine bore from was the fact that out walking the dogs, and one of the dogs was really patient and will sit with you while you're taking the photographs. Another one is so impatient that I ended up just having to walk and do that kind of thing. And I would never check the images at home, but what I'm going to do just now is I'm going to change that aperture. Now and again, these are nothing. Now and again, you would get something like that, for example. I quite like, so I'm now going to do that again, and I've actually got 3 trees here that I really like. So this is why I'm back up here. I'm going to shoot these 3. There's a nice contrast in them. Not any light hitting them, that's the only thing. If these had the light hitting them, I think this would be a lovely image, but it's all to your own taste. the 3 trees that I'm shooting are these 3 here, and you can see the lines, but what I've got is the colour contrast as well. I've got the bronzes and the golds down here. I actually really like this one, and I've got the kind of copper colours up at the top, so it's just trying to get that in, and it's just trial and error. That's the great thing, it's trial and error to get an image that you like. So I'm going to shoot a couple of these just to see. What I'm doing is I'm focusing on the tree closest to me, and my ISO is as low as it can go. Now, you may or may not like, as I said again, you may or may not like this type of imagery, but it's fun to do. It's actually really fun to do, and it is. I'm actually really liking this one. This might be the thumbnail for the video. Also, where I notice these and where I'm intrigued to be these types of images, the ICM and intentional multiple exposure in camera, where I see these a lot of the time is in offices and behind desks in studios, because it allows the viewer not to make an assumption, but they're intrigued by it. Whether they like it or not is a different matter, but yet they're still intrigued by it. So that's where I see most of these images. Yes, I see them hanging in houses, and some of them are really, really nice. A lot of the time I go for the more muted tones, but at the same time I love the vibrant ones. For example, sunsets or sunrises, I love them as well. It just depends what you like, but that's where I see these hanging. It means you're not making any judgment at all, but you may be intrigued by the imagery because there's depth in them as well. There's depth in them like every other type of photography. So it's fun. It's just fun. Funny thing is, composition does come into this, and you end up, when you're shooting a few and you find perhaps a scene that you really like and you're doing the ICM, is that you begin to move, and that shot that only takes a quarter of a second and that you're just playing around with actually ends up turning into a compositional nightmare. At the same time though, it is fun. So basically what I am doing is I'm going in, walking on that tree and just flicking the camera up slightly. So I can take it and walk it there, bring the greens in and then just do that. But that for me is probably better done to accentuate the movement. Now I want more greens in it. This GoPro is getting thrown around today. What I also like doing, and what I really like, especially with buildings and with form and shape that's juxtaposed against nature, is in camera multiple exposure. And basically the camera that I'm using just now, the Z7 II, go into the menu and go into multiple exposure, turn it on, and I have set mine at 10. So what I now do is I focus in the area I want to shoot, and then I will move the camera slightly in each shot, very, very slightly, just to see what we get. I don't wait to see what comes up in the back of the screen for this to see whether I like it or not. And that one I don't like, not enough contrast in it. Perhaps if it was to shoot that way it would work, but there's not enough contrast here. I'll put some images on screen to let you see when the contrast works, the ones that I really, really liked. Now you can shoot colour and use the contrast or complementary colours when you're doing this as well. Have fun with it, that's all it's for, just to have fun with. And that's it. And I do think that's it done for today. So, if you've enjoyed this video, just ICM and just out enjoying myself, if you've enjoyed this video, big thumbs up because that always helps. And if you haven't seen any other videos on the channel, check them out. Every video is different, that's the good thing, everyone's different. Up in Glencoe this coming week, just to scout new locations for the workshops in 2022. There's plenty of locations in Glencoe, so it is okay that way. I just want to go off and see if there's any at all that would be an addition to the actual workshops as well. I like to vary it up each time. So This year was really good for workshops, and thank you to everyone who came on a workshop with me. I really enjoyed your company, and hopefully you did get something from that as well. Workshops will start in February, and I'll put the dates in the website soon. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.